David Lynch is one of the greatest artists of all time. And on Thursday, the 16th of January 2025, he sadly passed away. He was 78 and made some of the best films cinema has ever seen. I was sat reading through all the wonderful tributes and stories online, and I felt compelled to make a small tribute to him and share some of my feelings about his art. I never met Lynch and was never even in the same room as him, but his art, and in particular his films, has had an immense impact on me. They've been both a source of comfort and incredible inspiration. It's hard to know where to start. His influence and impact on cinema really cannot be overstated, and although Lynch and the term Lynchian typically had dark, weird, and disturbing connotations, the best parts of his work for me were always the moments where he focused on the human spirit. So few directors are able to capture emotion like he did. There is so much beauty and devastation in his storytelling and his characters, whether it's Dale Cooper, the FBI agent from Twin Peaks that's bursting with a defiant optimism, who is perhaps the most endearing detective to ever appear on screen, or Alvin Straight, a stubborn World War II veteran who drives a tractor 200 miles to visit his estranged brother in The Straight Story, which is an incredible film. It's a Disney film and a true story, but I hadn't seen it until the news broke, and I immediately put it on, and in the wake of the news of his passing, those final scenes were really quite powerful and moving. I have to talk about the dreamlike sensation that he captured in a lot of his films, but in Mulholland Drive and Inland Empire especially. Inland Empire is a highly underrated film, and it's the film that he really amped up the surreal, experimental aspects of his filmmaking. And it's quite a terrifying watch, but one that I found was unfiltered and pure, and it absolutely has the best jump scare of all time in it. But the feeling this film gave me was a sensation of not quite noticing what was wrong until it's almost too late. Just like in a dream, you never realize what's out of place until you wake up. And then suddenly, it's screaming at you in the face. And then we have Twin Peaks. Well, more specifically, we have Laura Palmer. Her prom photo is the most iconic image in all of media as far as I'm concerned, and her journey in Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me especially, a film which is perhaps one of the darkest horror films I've ever experienced, has a performance by Cheryl Lee that creates such tangible moments of fear and love. It's unlike anything I've ever seen, and then you add Angelo Badalamenti's score on top, and it starts to become difficult to find the words to describe just how you feel watching that film. One moment I have to mention is where Laura enters the bar and Julie Cruz is singing Questions in a World of Blue, and both us, the audience, and Laura are given a moment to reflect on how she got to this point. And for a moment, it feels like you can see into her soul, and you can feel the revelations she is experiencing. It's devastating, and one of my favorite moments in not just Lynch's discography, but in all of film. He created moments like this. On paper are so simple, and so many films have scenes like this, but Lynch executed them in a way that stirs you, it haunts you. A very similar sequence happens in Mulholland Drive, in Club Silencio. These hauntingly beautiful, reflective performances that captivate not just us, but the characters in those scenes. And it's a moment we truly feel we are sharing with them. It's scenes like these where you truly get lost in a film, and so few directors were able to give me that feeling so consistently and emphatically. And then we have Twin Peaks: The Return, quite possibly his finest and most indulgent work, which has to me many sequences in it that I still think about. It has an ending that shook me to my core, and it truly feels like the culmination of all of his work. I won't go into spoilers, but those last 2 episodes especially were breathtaking, and I don't think we will ever see anything quite like it again. This video ended up being a more sporadic celebration of his work. I could talk about Lynch all day, from the haunting bewilderment of Eraserhead, the giddy comfort of Twin Peaks, the gentle unease of Blue Velvet. There is something in every film he made that spoke to me, whether I understood it or not. I love reading about films after I've watched them, but Lynch's films don't offer a lot of answers. He has said it himself, he is all about the question. But I've never been frustrated by any of his films, or even felt the urge to seek out the truth or make sense of it all. In fact, I feel deeply connected and invested with a sense of wonder few directors can truly conjure. One of the few places I find comfort in my lack of sense is in a David Lynch film. For me, his films are carried by emotional resonance, and sometimes it doesn't matter what it means. I'm completely hooked regardless. I don't need answers with Lynch. The feeling is enough. Being able to be in his world, his dreams, and even his nightmares are experiences I will cherish forever.